Welcome to another edition of Purposeful Forever. I am A.D. Walker. My lovely wife Samantha's not here today. She's not feeling the best. She's a little under the weather, but it's all good. She'll definitely be ready for next week. So today we are celebrating our final day of our 1 year anniversary. Blah! Gotta rock 'em. I'm not turning them on. Yeah. But so I want you to make sure you're sharing. Tag another couple that needs to hear this. This is one of our best episodes. It's probably like our fourth one from last year. So definitely we're excited for you to see this. So let us know. Put some comments up. Share it. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this. Alright? So let's get it started. Watching one of our very best episodes with me and my boo.
Bam! What's up? Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is A.D. Walker with Samantha in the building. Sassy Sam. We're here with another broadcast entitled Purpose Marriage. And tonight, and welcome my replay viewers. Thanks for coming through. Make sure you tap, invite, show some love. And we have Kalinda writes, Tyrone Fielder in the building. Great evening to you. I'm going to say great morning, like time runs together sometimes. So today we're talking about protecting your relationship. That is something crucial, and great evening. Blessing to you, my friend. And something that I will say for myself, I truly missed out on in my marriage in the beginning. And if you don't know the story, we were together, then we separated, now we're coming back together again. Something like that. So we're talking about, ways to kind of protect your relationship. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and connect with us. And make sure you follow, of course. And we're going to have a new profile. Elaine Forbes in the building. We're going to have a profile separate for us as a couple. So just so you guys can follow and make sure you're following us. GA in the building. Huh? Yeah, they get it. They stupid. So today, one of the things about protecting your relationship. Hey, how's it going? It's going good. Thank you.
Well, okay, so we're gonna first tell the few people that are in here our actual stories. So we'll spend a few minutes going through that, and then we'll get on to the topic that he picked for tonight. And of course, you guys can always comment. You could always ask questions. We just ask, be respectful and mindful and whatever. We'll do our best to answer.
Yes.
To answer any questions that you have. So our story. I guess I'll give my perspective because there's always like your story, his story, and then the story. So I guess I'll give my version of events, and he'll jump in and out where he sees fit. So we went to high school together. We didn't date in high school. We started dating after high school. We got married at 21, and we.
You're right. Sorry,
right. And we were married officially for right under 20 years. Right. There was 19 and change when we actually filed and signed divorce papers. We have been divorced for almost 3 years now. 29. And we've been divorced for about 2 to almost 3 years. And a few months ago, things changed. Circumstances kind of brought us together. There was a weird wind blowing. And we decided to reconcile. try again, get back together, the whole nine. And so for the last few months, we have been working on building us. Oh, look.
I think that's it.
Hi! Okay, so yesterday we actually got engaged, which was a surprise, and it's very exciting. So here we are to share with the viewers our experiences over the years, our shortcomings, our downfalls. And the hopes of, I don't know, inspiring somebody, encouraging somebody, maybe getting somebody to decide to give marriage a try. I will say this, even in the time that we have been legally divorced, he's always been a man of integrity as far as taking care of our children and being there to support and take care of me. I've never had to chase him for money or any of the stuff, that people say happens when you divorce or you break up. I will say we've always been amicable. Yes, we've argued and we've had our moments, but
this is going to be a new topic.
We're gonna try to maybe have a different topic every week. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a background for the people that didn't know or whatever. So here we are today, together, and talking to you guys. Tonight he wanted to talk about the ways to protect your relationship. And I know for some people, yes, he absolutely is. For some people that may not seem like a big deal. But we learned over the years, well, now we've realized a lot of things and a lot of ways.
Oh, thank you so much.
We've learned, a lot of ways where we went wrong and things that we could do better and things that we should not have done at all. And so one of those was definitely protecting our relationship. And sometimes you have friends that are a friend to you, but they're not necessarily a friend to your relationship. And I know for some that's like, what? That means, yes, you're my friend and you're supposed to love me and support me, but I need you to want me to be my best version of myself. So when you see me slipping and not doing the things that I should, don't encourage me to do that. Like, don't encourage me to make bad decisions. Don't encourage me, oh, girl, forget him. When you get home, that's when you'll get home. Do what you want to do. You're grown. Like I've had those type of friends. And whether or not I listened initially, over time, when you have those type of people in your circle, eventually those words replay in your mind, and slowly but surely, at times, you can find yourself making decisions that you shouldn't, or leaning toward things that you shouldn't, things that damage and hurt your relationship, things that over time wear at your relationship. It's like a steady drop of water that just wears at that just wears at a rock. And that was another thing. We didn't spend enough time with other couples. That wasn't like a big focus. If we did meet a couple, I know for me, a lot of times there was always a reason why I really didn't want to be around them. Like I didn't really put enough effort into trying to get to know them.
Like that, right.
I didn't put enough effort in, to trying to build a relationship, and sometimes it's not always about like a deathly strong relationship, a deathly strong friendship where you're hanging out with the wives. It doesn't always have to be that.
Right.
It could be something as simple as every couple of weeks or every every oh Marcus
Oh,
or
okay.
every couple of months. You know, y'all go out to dinner with
Right.
just another couple,
Right.
because the conversations at the table are going to be similar,
right.
because you have another husband, you have another wife there.
Right.
These are people that hopefully their goal is to stay married.
Yes.
Hopefully their goal is longevity,
Definitely.
like your goal should be.
Definitely.
So being around couples is important. In the last couple of months, we have definitely connected with some really great couples. And not just couples, but some really great people.
Right.
It's like when our focus changed on what we were looking for, we found a different kind of people. Yes, he's happy.
Yes. The right couples here too, right?
Right. People that genuinely love their spouse. Husbands that are happy to go home.
Right.
Like, not the ones, saying, I want to go home, that old heifer.
Right.
Like all those things make a difference with the circle that you keep.
Right.
So definitely those things are important. And no, if you've had a friend your whole life, nobody's saying you got to give them up. Like, let's not be dramatic. What I'm saying is you have to be mindful of the time you spend and how much access to your relationship you give that person. When you and your spouse are arguing, a lot of times it's fleeting. You argue, you're going to go home and get in bed with that man, or you're going to go home and get in bed with that woman. You're going to go home and raise kids with these people and live in a house and pay bills with them. So to let an outsider,
in that same misery level.
right,
Yeah, right.
to let an outsider,
right.
Into that circle is a lot of times very dangerous.
Yes, and it's a lot of that, who you have around you guys matters, and it's not just like watching out for the singles, but it's also having the right relationships around, the ones that they're getting along, and like you said, the time is going to be better because the first time you were kids and now you're older. That's true too.
I don't know about that older part.
Oh, so having good relationships around you, someone that you can feed off of, someone that you can see the love, and you can bounce things when, like you said, if something's going bad, you can go to them and get fruitful advice, something that they can seed into you, as opposed to them just telling you to go with that feeling of, nah, forget about them. You need to just go hang out, do your thing, be you, do you, boo, kind of mentality that ultimately destroys your relationship. Because you're doing you this night, then you're gonna do you the next night, as opposed to having someone to say you need to go back home and tough this thing out, talk it out, work it out, so you can get back to your happy.
Holding you accountable.
Right. Yes.
For being a husband.
Yes.
Or holding you accountable for being a wife.
Right.
Somebody said, girl, you ain't cooked all week for your husband?
Right.
Like, that's
small
not
things,
cool.
The nudges. Yeah.
And somebody saying, you've been going home late every night to your wife? Like, those are the people that you need in your circle. Somebody to check you when you slide into the left.
Right. Definitely. And also protecting your relationship and what you read, what you watch, because if you're reading a lot of stuff or watching a lot of things that are degrading to relationships, then that affects your mindset. And then it affects how you interact with your spouse. No, I'm in the same age bracket as you. Go get the one. Oh no, you're good. So it's having that mindset that you want to make sure you're like I'm this my term. Make sure you're happy stays within your relationship, because like I said, happy is a fleeting feeling. Yes, everyone's like happy don't last, but you should always fight to have happy as much as possible, because it should be something that's more prevalent than just a regular humdrum. Oh, here comes the wife. You should be excited to see them. You should be happy to be around them. You should be happy to just love on them, to hug them, for real. Like, and I had to get to this point, like, if you're not excited about seeing your significant other at least most of the time, then something is wrong. You know, and I know people are like, oh, that's real talk. You gotta accept this thing. What up, Aaron? Thanks for coming through. You gotta get excited about your relationship. If there's at least at least some level of fire between you guys, and I'm talking about good fire. Hey, did I hear a book coming? Soon, maybe. The Happy, possibly. Just keep it in mind. Yes, it's going The Happy. How to maintain the happy in your relationship. Because like I'm telling, once I realized that I love being happy with her. Love the kisses, love the hugging, love the talking. I know, guys, I know. But when you're having I always use this word, fruitful conversation where you're talking to her, she's talking to you, and there's helping each other grow, knowing that he's going to make God the center. Definitely, and everyone should. God has to be the center of the relationship. There has to be prayer. There has to be fasting. How to maintain a happy relationship. Bam!
I like Finding You Happy. That was better.
Finding You Happy, not the happy. Okay, Finding You Happy. So it's the exciting. You got to continue the exciting parts of your relationship, because you get lost in a humdrum. I mean, I've done it. Like you've been together 20 years. Like, hey, hi, sleep. Hey, hi. It's how you look at your 20, right? Because it's funny. We've been in church and we were separated, and we watch people who've been married for a long time, but you look like she's over there, he's all the way over here. Like they're separated, they're not really together. You're not even sure if they're a couple. So we got to get out of the survival marriage mentality. Right. The survival, like that, the survival marriage mentality, because we're surviving. Yep, you see it a lot. We're surviving marriage. That's not how it should be. Right. And it's so funny. I used to play into people saying people just don't stick it out in marriage like they should. But what am I sticking out? What am I holding on to? If I'm unhappy, right? So there should be a communication about why am I unhappy, right? And it can be small, because usually by the time you divorce, it'll snowball into so many other areas, right? So even the smallest argument over something is huge, because the stuff been snowballing for so many years. This is it. This is the last straw, So the thing is, as a guy, and we as guys, we retreat into our cave so much, we never discuss, this is what I want, right? The problem sometimes is, as a guy, you've been in a marriage so long, you're not even sure what you want. So my advice, any guy or any woman looking that has a spouse or boyfriend, hopefully it's not dropped at boyfriend level. That's horrible. But if they don't know, go to them. Nobody wins with snowballs, right? Yes. If they don't, the one thing they don't know what makes them happy, then you go back to, hey, what have I done, even just one time, that you enjoyed? One time. Like, oh man, I remember 2 years ago when you did such and such. Oh, I loved it. And it could be anything. Anything. Real talk. Anything. And it's like, even if you're like, oh man, that was hard work. Like, I'll try to do that more, but it might be hard, and it just takes me some weeks to prepare. It could be something big, or it could be something small, like, when you used to rub my hair. When you rub my hair, I love it. When you do, just put your hands on my shoulder. Just small things that show affection can be the catalyst that changes your relationship. Because I'm not getting my happy. Yo, I'm telling you. And I know, like I said, I know happy is a fleeting feeling. But we need that happy. Like, don't you need to laugh? You need to be up. You need to get excited. Marriage should be exciting. Not just, stop surviving marriage. So today, if you're watching this on replay, you're watching this now, stop surviving marriage. Now, This ain't that kind of party. We don't do it on command.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give them. That's like, I don't know who that is. I'll put them in there.
Okay.
So, all right. So you're right. Right. Like, so stop surviving marriage. Stop surviving marriage. You know, you have so much that you can be doing together. You have so much of a life that you can be enjoying. That's the worst is like in surviving marriage that you're missing out on your greater days.
You're wasting. And you're wasting so much time.
So much.
There's so much that you can create. Right. Not just kids. Like, you know, kids is easy.
Right.
Yeah, creating kids is the easiest part of a relationship. Right. That's why you see people with kids and they hate each other. Because that was the easiest thing that they have done together was create children. But creating a family, creating a household, and a household is not a building. Creating a bond with somebody, those things are hard. Those things take work. Those things, and not work, because when people think about work, all you think about is the crappy job that you hate. But work in terms of you have to water things. Just like when when you work in a garden, you have to water it, you have to prune it, you have to give it sunlight. So your relationship is the same way. You have to water your relationship. You have to water your spouse. You have to nurture them. You have to prune. Sometimes it's just, okay, babe, we do too much of this. How about we cut out some of this and we do some of this? Like, you know, you have all those things have to be done to maintain a healthy relationship. And if your relationship is healthy, it's a breeding ground for the things you can create. It's a breeding ground for greatness. Yes. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So all those things are really important. But when, honestly, we were married for 20 years, but when he says surviving, we're almost 20. So I don't want to give off the 19 and some months. Right. We missed out on so much. Like even in these honestly, in this year alone, we've done things that we had not done in the whole 20 years that we've been together. Something as simple as having couples over and having a couples night has been like phenomenal for us. Like I hope that it's been as good for the people that we have invited, but selfishly so, it has been really good for us because we talk about things. We need it. Yes. You know, we talk about stuff. You know, it's not like all about sex. We just talk about everyday whatever it is. You know, movies and fun stuff, and you find out that hey, maybe I got more in common with the husband than I do with the wife. And then your husband got more in common with the wife than he does with the husband. And not in a weird, sicko way. We just mean like some of the similarities. You know, there is a way to have a wholesome, fruitful relationship. We have to stop making things so ugly all the time. There is beauty in loving other people. And you can love somebody else and it be beautiful and it's fruitful and they love you and want to see you win and they want to see you happy and they want to see you in love and they want to see your relationship grow and they want to watch you create phenomenal things. Those are the type of people, you know, that you want around, the people that want to see you win. And I don't mean the ones that just say it, because you can tell the difference. When you sit back, you can tell the difference. You know, and another thing we do now, more than probably we've ever done, is, you know, when we go somewhere, when we interact with somebody, when it's over and we come home, we talk about it. Because I want to know, hey, but did you see, you know, did you feel off? You know, how do you feel about this? What do you think about that? We've done that a lot more because what he thinks and what he feels is important. I don't want him to just be, oh, I gotta make the wife happy. Happy wife, happy life. Right. I mean, that sounds good, but that kind of gives off the connotation that what you want or what he wants doesn't matter. Long as I'm happy, right, that's enough. But you know, when things like that happens, that's when he starts looking for happy somewhere else, and it doesn't have to be with somebody else. Yeah. It just means in other places. Right. I want him to find his peace in me. I want to be that peaceful place for him. When he's had a hard day, I want him to want to come home and sit with me and tell me about it. I want him to be able to confide in me, and talk to me about stuff and feel comfortable. I really want, this to be, this is, let me just say that, this is already my most important relationship. And yes, God comes first. So don't misunderstand. My most important human relationship is this. I'm a mother and I love my kids and I would give my life for them. That will never change. That relationship is solidified already. I'm already their mother. There's nothing in the world that can change that. This relationship can be changed at any point. This is a choice. I choose to love him. I choose to be a part of his life. I choose to allow him to love me.
Oh, no, that's why we got the atmosphere in the home. They traditionally, yes. So what's happened a lot, you're right, the woman has set how the house feels. And in the sense, I won't say out of order, but my job as the man is to maintain that household as far as what's going on in it, right? So if wife is not happy, I should find out what's going on with her, and if it's one of those days she's just not feeling it, hey, hang out in the room. I got everything else because she's not in the place to handle the household at this moment. So energy. Right, she got all these just frustrated and angry, whatever's going down, and me and her might not even vibing as well. Like, so it could be a whole ecosystem of issues, So it could be work, it could be us, and I'm like, you chill out in the room, try to decompress, we'll deal, but let me handle the household so they can relax and their mindset is straight and can handle school and their issues and social life. Because the one thing, things don't need to spill over. If she's having a rough one, was that a harsh thing to say? No. Oh, no. I understand what you're saying, and it's been like that. Like, it wasn't like that when I grew up. My mom kind of set the pace of the household. My dad was strong. Don't get me wrong, but he let her kind of do a lot of the leading. And because he had a lot of issues with alcohol, so he kind of leaned. He drank a lot. So he let her take control, and he just, yes, in a sense, what. Yeah, go ahead.
So here's the thing: women by nature, we have more hormones. Let's just be honest. We're typically we're more hormonal. We're more sensitive. We a lot of times we act off of our emotions, and so sometimes, if you're an emotional person, everything is always going to be about how you feel in that moment. So when you've had a hard day at work and you come in the house, you've had a hard day. Your boss has got on your last nerve, this one said something you didn't like, and you come in with all of that. Now you have set the tone for the whole household. You brought all that stress into the house. So, so sometimes being a thermometer isn't good. That means you're just, taking one temperature from one place to another. Like, a lot of times things we say are just stuff that's been said by somebody else. But if you actually sit down and think about what it actually means, and sometimes it's just taking a minute and being honest with yourself about who you are. Now, typically, I'm not too emotional, but my temper can go to the left sometimes. So I know sometimes if I come in the house and I'm angry, I just need to come in my room and I need a minute. I need some time. Right now I can't do it. I just need a moment. And then, I can rejoin society. But that goes both ways.
Right.
And, because we believe in the Bible, the man is the head of the household. Right. The man sets the standard for the household. Right. That's what I believe. That's what we believe. Right. That's what happens in our house. And some of, our problems was we got away from that. You're welcome. We kind of got away from that in our years of marriage. Not that I overran him, but he just retreated in some areas. And when he stepped back, I stepped up. Right. You can say out of necessity, out of whatever, I did it. And so it became about half of what I was feeling, and then the other half, what I felt I had to do. Right. And then what happened, some of the decisions I made was because of resentment. I was resentful for having to make the decisions because I didn't feel like I should have. I felt like if I have to make all the decisions and I have to follow through with everything, then what do I need a husband for? And so, but at the same time, I never really communicated that to him effectively. So I just did it with aggressive actions, and that just pushed him back further. So sometimes you really have to be honest with yourself and think about the things that you do and the things that you say, and not even sometimes, especially for me, I don't have to say a lot. I'm sure y'all notice I make a lot of faces. It's almost involuntary sometimes, but sometimes that's the best way I communicate. Like, I don't want to talk. Do you see this face? That means don't talk to me. So there was a lot of times that he got that face. He'd be like, "Oh, how was your day?" And I'm fine. Right. And that again pushed him back further. So sometimes, sayings are great, and we all say something we heard our grandmama say, our auntie say, thank you. And we take those sayings and we take them into our house, and sometimes you can't. And even some things that may seem right aren't right for you. They're not right for your household. They're not right for your husband. Like, some of the stuff that your daddy did, your husband ain't going for it. And some of the stuff, well, my mama used to bake cakes every week. It's like, I don't bake. I didn't bake when I was dating you, and I'm not about to bake. So sometimes, you have to have real honest conversations with each other. And you have to realize, this is what works for us. Yes. You have to put everything on the table. Yes. And I will say we have been doing that. I'm not going to say we've done it because I'm sure there's layers to it. And, not levels. There's layers to it. So, we have put a lot of stuff on the table. And I'm going to be honest, it all was not easy to hear. I mean, even some of, him explaining things that he felt I should have done, or things that I didn't do, or things that made him feel a certain way. And I'm thinking, like, did I really do that? And in some instances, it was really just a lack of communication, where I was intending to do one thing, and it came across as something else. So communication is essential. And, we had the conversation, and I asked him, like, okay, so how honest do you want our relationship to be? And he's like, what? And I'm like, I know people are like, oh, I don't lie. Yeah, you don't lie. But, there's that knock down, drag down honesty. And then there's that I'm going to be as honest as I think you can handle, which is really you saying, I'm going to be as honest as I can handle because I don't want the fallout of it. So we agreed that we were going to have that brutal honesty this time around. Like, it is hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. I mean, you know, like, I've always felt like I was an honest person, but a lot of times I was as honest as, I don't know, if I thought, like, I never wanted to hurt him. Right. I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to whatever. So I just, like, you know what, I'll just say this and be done with it. But when you hold things back, those little things, they grow like a cancer. And you don't realize that little stuff, every little thing you hold back, every little secret, it's in there and it's festering. And it's growing and growing. And before you realize it, there's a big hole in your relationship that was caused by you. It's like you put a hole in your own boat and it's sinking. And you can't figure out why you're taking on water. Right. And the whole time, every little secret, every time you didn't communicate, you're just poking holes. Right. So you like, bloop, 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 bloop. Oh my God, what happened? And then you blame the other person. Right. So honesty with yourself, honesty with your person, you know, that all makes a big, big difference. True. You know, and don't bring street stuff into your house. You know, like I tell my son today, like, don't pick up something you heard somewhere else and bring it home. And the same applies to your relationship. You work with some crazy broad that tells you, oh, well, you know, your husband should be doing this every week. Right. And you come home and try to make this man do something that don't even make sense for your household because you're trying to keep up with somebody else. So don't bring in garbage. Just like you wouldn't bring garbage into your home from somewhere else, don't bring garbage into your relationship. Have a garbage-free zone. Right. Have a happy bubble, his word. You know, put your relationship in a bubble. Right.
Now, unless someone outside has a good relationship or knows, about relationships, like, hey, you should tell your wife, or ask your wife about such interesting questions to ask or games to play, things to make life better. Like, hey, I was just doing this game with my husband. You should try this, and that's how we should share. Like, whatever you're doing in your household that's working, that's helping you happy, you should always share. Like, hey, I tried this. This was, oh man, I was excited. You should play this game, because every interaction, every level of communication, every game played, especially together without something in between, helps build your relationship stronger, helps make it better. Every game, every game, because then it's a memory and a moment that's been created.
Time spent.
Yes, time spent. Because for me, time spent, I used to think, was us watching TV or us just together. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm right here. I'm here.
His body was here.
Yes.
But his mind was somewhere in a far away land.
So it's crucial to interact. Anything that causes interaction. Any game. Real talk. Just whatever you can do to play together. Anything that causes you to talk, like conversational games. Like we got conversational games where you answer questions and some of the questions are like tough and you just tough it out. You like, you try to come up with the best answer. Just enjoy it. Like and I'm a harp on two things. Staying in your happy and stop surviving marriage. So you need to get more towards the happy and less out of survival. Because we always talk about survival just in life, right? What are you doing? Are you surviving or are you living? We should be in our happy in marriage. It should be happy marriage. This is a continuous. So when she comes home, you're excited about seeing her, no matter what today. Kool-Aid, thanks for coming through. I like that name. I don't know. Certain names that jump out. Thanks for inviting the followers. I appreciate it. Dion?
All right.
OG. Sorry, OG. Might be, I'm sure it's OG. It's OG in the place to be. So I appreciate you guys coming through. So every Monday, 8-ish.
Yes, tonight we was having couple time.
Yeah, it was having couple time, and I
Met
was
another
enjoying
couple,
it.
and time got away from us, and so we had to come on at 9. But the goal is to be on Mondays at 8.
Yes.
What's the email?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
What's the email?
Oh, I can't remember it. We're gonna change it up.
Okay.
So what we're gonna listen. I appreciate you guys coming through. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. We're gonna have another handle, like another name, another Periscope name for us as a couple. So it won't be under AD Walker.
We're a couple now.
We're couples now.
I don't lie. People weird.
People weird? Okay. All right. She said she dissed me with the kiss?
You got people in here commanding
right,
kisses.
commanding kisses. So we are. I forgot what I was gonna say. So it'll be another handle. So I'll be inviting. So when you see the invite, you'll see the relation. What do we call it? Was it purpose? Nope.
Purpose forever.
Purpose forever. So purpose forever. So be watching out for that. Purpose forever. There we go. Purpose forever. So we're giving you our journey and the tips and tricks and things that we've learned and learning along the way.
And so if we get on here one Monday and you see me rolling my eyes, just know that it's been a difficult week and I still love him. But when you see the eyes going like this, that's like not really a cry for help. It's just letting y'all know that even when you love each other,
right,
which is a choice, you choose to love somebody, that sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, like people saying that love hurts. No. Really where it hurts is swallowing your pride sometimes. Because you don't want to give in. You don't want to be wrong. Now, if your love is hurting you, that ain't really love. That's a whole nother scope. But, we're going to be consistent. I wanted to add this, especially for the ladies, because I today realized I was guilty of something. And I told him, and I apologized. And said I wouldn't do it anymore. Ladies, when people tell you, oh, let's do this, and your husband watched Thursday night football or Sunday night or whenever the game come on, or he a basketball fanatic, don't try to make that man do something else on basketball or football night. Be considerate. Give him his time. It's okay to allow him, not even allow him. I'm sorry, bad word. It's okay to be okay with what he like. It's okay for him to have something that's his own. Just like it's okay for you to have something that's your own. So I was trying to make my husband stop something. I'm sorry. My fiance. I was trying to make him stop something that he had been doing every Monday morning. But because I was off on Monday, I wanted his whole day. I'm not going to lie, so what? I did. But this morning, I went into work, and he usually does it with a group. And he was the only one that got on this morning, consistently, by himself, and he held it down. And I was like, I watched it. And it was like God just like thumped on my forehead and say, you see that? You see how committed he is to this? Like, don't be that person. And as soon as he was done, I immediately texted him. And I told him, you know what? I was wrong for asking you to give that up. And I told him that I would support him going forward, and I wasn't going to ask him to give it up anymore, that I could live without that time in the morning, for him to be consistent to, something he committed to. Because the last thing I want is him not to be a man of his word. That's part of why I love him, because he is a man of his word. So I don't want him to break character so he can sit with me for a few minutes. I mean, we have the rest of our lives. So I could spare some time. So ladies, or if it's a man that do it, you know, she like Thursday night, whatever it is, that come on from 9 to 10, give her the hour. It's okay. It doesn't make her love you any less. Sit down and watch it with her. You ain't really got to watch it. Be on your phone playing a game. Just be in the room with her. Sometimes it's the little things. You might find something in the show that you like. But, you know, when you love somebody, you really want to be considerate to who they are and the things that they need. And I realized that he needed to be consistent and committed. Because if I start pulling him away from being consistent in one area, it's like I'm making it easy for him not to be consistent with me. Right. I'm creating my own problem. So that we won't do again. So, you know, be considerate to your person. Be considerate to what they may need. Just a few hours or whatever it is, you know, considering the circumstances. You know, there are some things that shouldn't be done. Like, you know, we're all adults. Like, let's make good choices. But, you know, when it's something, when you sit down and you really think about it, you know, let them have that. Encourage them to be consistent in something. Right. Because, you know, that consistency is a learned, you know, that's practice. Right. They practice that. That spills over to every area of their life. What you want is a consistent person by your side. You want to be in a relationship with somebody that's consistent and committed to something. Because it just makes it easier for them to commit to you. So.
Boom! I told you you're going to enjoy this thing. I told you. So, listen, next week we have an amazing couple. I'm not going to even tell you who it is. You just got to look out for it. Next week, it's going to be off the chain. So make sure you connect with us. If you're on YouTube, you're subscribing. Go to Facebook. Make sure you're following so you're getting all the notifications and all the things that are going down with Purpose for Forever. And as you know, we close out, as always. Well, I can't do it justice by myself. So just hold on.
Love intentionally.
Love unconditionally.
And love on purpose.
It's been a million days and a million nights. Oh, I still remember how your love changed my life. It's not enough words in my vocabulary to express how I feel. And I still pinch myself just to see if it's real. Said a man ain't supposed to cry, but I'll put my pride aside.
Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife? And do you earnestly promise before God and these witnesses that you will love her, comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, and that forsaking all others for her alone, you will perform under her all the respect that a husband owes to his wife, until God by death shall separate you? And your answer is simply, I will. I will. Samantha Wilson, do you take this man to be your wedded husband? And do you earnestly promise before God and these witnesses that you will love him, comfort him, honor, and obey him in front of these witnesses in sickness and in health, and that forsaking all others for him, will perform unto him all the duties that a wife owes her husband, until God by death shall separate you? And you will answer with, I will.
Since I've known you, since we've been each other's lives, and since you rode your bike to see me and called me in college from your work phone, long distance call, we spent time talking, I've known that you cared for me more than anyone else in the world. And now that I know what I need to do as a husband. Being in this place again is exciting. So I vow to you to always protect our marriage, to protect our union, to be here even when I'm physically here, be here all the way, to hear you even when you don't speak, and to know what you want to eat even when you don't say it.
Since 1991, I can't ever say there's been a time where you haven't been a part of my life. We've grown together, cried together, grown apart, cried apart, reconnected, and learned how to love through the good, bad, ugly, and other. I vow to forgive and be kind. I vow to give you all of my heart. I vow to continue to be your best friend through it all. I thank you for being constant, even when I didn't want you to be. I look forward to our tomorrows together.
I pronounce that they are husband and wife together. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Those whom God has joined together, let no man